Party after party, yeah. Party after party, yeah.
There's one place, and that place is the place you can find all your party supply. It's Models D Party Supply on Camp Johnson Road. It's Models D Party Supply. Has all and every kinds of party supplies you need, ranging from party dishes, plastic tablecloths, Disney party banners for kids, flowers for weddings and parties, balloons, different colors and sizes, party dishes, different colors and sizes, gift wrap papers. We also do the following: rental services, chairs, tables, chair covers, table runners, and chair sarge. You can find them all. Models D Party Supply. Our quality products bring you in, and our low prices bring you back. That's why we are Models D Party Supplies. Contact us on Camp Johnson Road, Monrovia, Liberia, next to Yes Transport, or call us on 0777 671 814. 0886 777 665.
Black Hill Regional Park in Maryland comes alive on the 24th of July with an Independence Day country cook featuring a variety of Liberian DJs. Come and enjoy yourself to our Dumbo special, juicy dry rice, pepper soup, and bitter leaf and fufu. Other DJs include rub potato greens, cassava leaf, rare oil potato greens, and so much more. Now, on the sideline of those dishes is the smell of our pepper color and roasted meat that will keep you salivating. Yes, it's the Independence Day Country Cook happening in Black Hill Regional Park, 20930 Lake Ridge. For inquiries and reservation, contact Makam Boyu on cell numbers 240-636-8994 or Malo Brople on 240-5516-742. If you are in the DMV area, you can't afford to miss it as it promises to be great. Come, let's dance to our favorite Liberian songs while we enjoy our favorite DJs.
See, I no time for check. Please love them, make me shower ya. Oh my little baby, mama.
Are you looking for a place where to fix your keys if lost or damaged? Or are you thinking on how to duplicate your home, office, or car keys? Don't worry, because your worries are all over. AutoKey Liberia is the best solution to all of your problems. At AutoKey Liberia, we are specialized in all keys programs and professional in other keys and remotes of all types. We are located at Say on Time Bourgeois Orland. Find us at Clever Mission Junction, ELW Community. For more information, you can call the following cell numbers: 0777 337 808 or 0886 530512. Do business with AutoKey Liberia and thank me later.
Are you looking for a property to buy or rent? Are you a property owner and looking for a quick and suitable way to sell your properties? Are you looking for a house, an apartment, or land to buy in Liberia, West Africa? Look no further, because Superior Real Estate has all the solutions to your problems. They have beautiful acres of land and comfortable homes for you to buy now. Registered and incorporated, Superior Real Estate is bringing honest real estate transactions and a peace of mind to all their clients. Located in Pinzio, Superior Real Estate can be reached on 0880-544-111 or WhatsApp them on +231-775-874610. You will not be disappointed. Superior Real Estate you can trust.
We all know the headache we go through sending money to our loved ones, friends, and family in Liberia. High fees, long lines in banks, the usual complaint of the system being down, such a waste of time and energy. That is why I was very happy when I learned that Sendwave is now in Liberia. So now I can send money anytime from anywhere directly from my smartphone to the MTN Lone Star Cell mobile money account of a loved one, friend, or family within seconds for just a tiny fee. So download Sendwave now to your phone from your Apple Store or Google Play Store. Add your details, and don't worry, they are very safe and secure, and start sending money today. Don't forget to insert the promo code COSTA to get free $5 credit added to your first transfer. Sendwave is secure, super fast, and by far the most affordable way to send money to Liberia. I'm Henry P. Costa and a very happy customer. Thank you.
Good morning, folks, and welcome to the program. You are listening, you are watching the Costa Show with me, Henry Costa, and Boaka Kamara in Monrovia. I'm in Delaware. The time in Liberia is 7:31, and the time in Delaware is 3:31. Good morning, Boaka.
Good morning, Costa, and good morning to our many listeners, home and abroad. It's good to be here with you this morning.
Very good. It is. Give us some COVID numbers. What are the latest numbers on the COVID crisis?
Okay, let me just go there quickly. Just a moment.
While you're at it, this morning we will have a Liberian oil and gas activist. Mr. I don't know what I could call him that. Mr. Ambulai Mame will join us this morning at 8:30 Liberian time, and to discuss the government's action, very selfish and wicked action of amending the oil law and removing the 5% provision on section 36 of the law, which essentially states that all concessions or all oil petroleum sharing contracts, as they're called, should what is that noise? I mean, I'm hearing that noise. See whether you guys can make any kind of adjustment from your side. Yeah. So Ambula Mame will join us. Pwaga will give us that COVID, those numbers. They're getting grimmer and grimmer by the day. Very scary. Let me know when you have it, Pwaga.
Yeah, I do have it now.
All right, go right into it.
Okay, this was posted yesterday at 1:37 p.m. from the National Public Health Institute, Republic of Liberia. It says total confirmed cases now in Liberia is 3,900. That's the total confirmed cases in Liberia. And the new cases we have is 106 new cases of since yesterday at 1:37 p.m.
So, as at yesterday, June 29th, 1:37 p.m.
Yeah,
Liberia has 100 and what?
106 new cases.
106 new cases. Any new deaths?
We have a total of 127 deaths with 4 new deaths.
Forget the total deaths, but just So as of yesterday, as at the 29th June, 1:30 something p.m., we've got 4 new deaths.
4 new deaths, yeah.
So it could be worse. It could be that number could be higher, right? That number could be higher because that was at 1 p.m. yesterday.
Yeah.
So anything could have happened
from 1 p.m. yesterday to now. More people might have died. More people might have contracted the virus since then. Scary.
Yeah, and we have 41 new recovery.
41 new recoveries. Thank you so much, Debwakai. Folks, there you have it. Those are the latest numbers on the COVID crisis in Liberia. Very scary indeed. Now, yesterday, the Council of Patriots, as I had said a few days earlier, the COP went ahead and procured some oxygen cylinders or oxygen tanks, very large ones. We procured 10 of those tanks and we donated them to the Star-based COVID-19 treatment center. The tanks were received by the assistant administrator at the hospital, a Mrs. Howard Dixon. Mrs. Dixon received the thanks from us yesterday. The COP, I show you, as its chairman, will do more of such donations. We will reach out. We will help our people as best as we can. I want to announce that the people of Riverside County received their ferry, have received their ferry. The ferry that was donated by the Joseph N. Boakai Foundation to the people of Riverside County to help them navigate the river and ease their transportation. That ferry has arrived in Riverside County. And the people of Riverside County are exceedingly, as expected, excited. They're very happy. The former vice president has another ferry. And by the way, the ferry that was donated to the people of Riverside County carries 2 vehicles at once. It can cross 2 SUVs, sport utility vehicle. Liberian call it Jeep. That vehicle can cross 2 sport utility vehicles at once, and of course, tons of people without if a vehicle is not on. That's going to make life much easier for the people in that part or in those parts of Riverside County where the ferry is going to be operating. There is another ferry that the vice president, the former vice president Joseph N. Boakai, has for the people of Grand Bassa. And the former vice president is waiting for Senator Yombli Kanga Lawrence to return to the country so that ceremony, turning over that ferry to the people of Grand Bassa, may happen. And so look forward to that. In the coming days, former Vice President Joseph N. Boakai will visit the ELWA hospital to identify with them. Now, it must be stated that JMB, when he was Vice President of the Republic, the ELWA hospital has been in Liberia for a long time.
Yeah. But
it was a small hospital, not the new one. And so sometime in 2013, 2014, Joe Boakai made a trip to the United States of America and met North Carolina, to be specific, North Carolina, and met with the president of the Samaritan Purse organization, Franklin Graham, the son of the late iconic pastor. They used to call him America's pastor, Pastor Billy Graham. Baka, you heard about Billy Graham, right? Didn't you?
Yeah, I did.
Baka, you are a little low.
You getting me now?
Getting you was not the thing. You were just not so audible as you now are. Thank you. You're much better. So Joe Walker came to North Carolina, met with Franklin Graham, the son of the late Billy Graham, and Joe Walker impressed upon them to build a new hospital, and had a fruitful exchange. And Billy Graham committed that they were going to build a hospital. I mean, Franklin Graham, they went to build that new EOW hospital. Joe Walker was very much involved. There was a situation involving the EOW land. The government had wanted to seize some of that land. And Joe Walker, as vice president, got involved, played a very pivotal role in ensuring that the EOW land, as was donated to them by President William V. Tubman, was not taken back. And so that matter was laid to rest. And so Joe Walker will be going to identify with, now I want you to remember this, in the coming days, former Vice President Joe Walker will go and will deliver some much needed supplies to the EOWA hospital and another hospital or another facility that takes care of people who are dealing with COVID-19. Perhaps that other facility will be the one at what you might call it, the Star Base. Now he's going to go and identify with them. Now it is extremely important, as you all know. It is very important. Yep. Barker?
Yeah, and Costa, the issue we are facing in Liberia is about treatment at various hospitals. This time around, there's no proper treatment. If you go to even a JFK, they will send you across the road. Yeah, it been there for a long time, but now
it's what, right?
Is worse, Costa. And now it's not only limited unto JFK, but other hospitals have started doing so. If you go there for treatment, they will prescribe the medicine for you and then give you it and say, go and get your own drugs. This is a thing that killing people. How would the people go about taking the jobs themselves, and how will it be done? Because if I go buy the drugs now and somebody at the pharmacy don't know how to prescribe or tell me how to take the drugs, it don't go well, Costa. So now this is what affecting. Or if you go to the great JFK, they will tell you, say, go right across the road to Lucky Pharmacy and go get your drugs from there, because there's no drugs, absolutely no drugs at the hospitals now in the country. Nothing.
Now, folks, Braga, you're so right. Now, folks, hold on. Prepare yourselves. I'm about to tell you something that will get you thinking. Prepare yourselves. I have some information regarding Nathaniel McGill. I'm going to provide that information. I want you to prepare yourselves. Now, I will not say it just yet. I will say it soon. Perhaps in the next few minutes. Now, you can tell somebody to listen. You can tell somebody to tune in, and you can do that. But I want you to prepare yourselves, because what I'm going to tell you, I have the evidence. I have the document. Nathaniel McGill. Nathaniel McGill recently arranged for a charter flight.
Yes.
On Saturday, the 26th of June, Nathaniel McGill received the clearance from the Liberia Civil Aviation Authority for the charter flight to come in and depart from RIA, make a stop over in Accra, and then head out to Malta. Malta is a small island country, archipelago, way out there, just 50 miles south of Sicily. Listen to me. Nathaniel McGill, the Minister of State for Presidential Affairs. Now, that's not the information. I'm going to provide you the details. I'm going to provide you the call sign. I'm going to provide you the information about the aircraft, what type of aircraft, the Syrian, you name it. I'm going to give you every single piece of information about that. Now, Malta, for those of you who do not know, it's not a drink. It's not the drink that you drink. It's a small island thing. It's in an archipelago there. Hold on, folks. By air, if you're on a charter flight, Malta should be about 12 minutes. About 12 minutes. Now, where is Malta? It's a small island state located in the Mediterranean Sea, south of Sicily. Sicily is where the Sicilian Mafia, where it was established, where they started. It consists of 3 islands: Malta, Gozo, and Comino. Malta is the largest of the 3 islands, and the Maltese archipelago was strategically significant for the domination of the Mediterranean. Now, that is Malta. It's a small country, but there's something Malta is very known for. Hold on, folks, and this is easily verifiable. Malta is known as the capital of money laundering. Let me repeat myself. Malta is known as the capital of money laundering. I'm going to repeat myself. It has been banned. It has been blacklisted. It has been, I said, Malta is known as the capital of money laundering. I'm going to read here a report, just very recent, published on June 23rd, actually 7 days ago, in the Reuters News, one of the biggest international news organizations. Reuters published this story on June 23rd, 2021 at 2:47 p.m. 7 days ago, this story was published. Malta is a hub for drugs and money laundering. Let me read this story. Malta faces blow after being gray listed by financial crimes watchdog. Valletta, June 23rd, Reuters. Malta has been put on a gray list by the world's money laundering and terrorist financing watchdog, FATF, F-A-T-F. Prime Minister Robert Abella said on Wednesday, is the Prime Minister of Malta, he spoke, in a move which could seriously damage the island's economy. Speaking at news conference, Abella said he thought the decision was unjust and promised to push ahead with planned reforms aimed at tackling financial wrongdoing. Even the Prime Minister of Malta, Robert Abella, the Prime Minister, spoke on the 23rd of June and said, hey, the international group, this is the Paris-based international governmental group called, they're called what? The Financial Action Task Force. They agreed to put Malta on the gray list of untrustworthy jurisdiction during a secret vote earlier in the day. On the 23rd of June, the Paris-based Intergovernmental Financial Action Task Force, they listed Malta as an untrustworthy jurisdiction, meaning the country now faces increased monitoring. Malta is in the hub of money laundering in that particular region. Can you imagine? Now, while this group called the Financial Action Task Force at the time had not formally announced their decision to put Malta on the list as a hub for money laundering, the Prime Minister of the country confirmed the thing after local news broke on local media in Malta. Now, the Prime Minister said, Robert Abella, quote, I'm quoting the Prime Minister, while I consider this decision unjust, we will continue to reform the process because we are committed or we are acting with conviction and believe in good governance, he told a hastily convened news conference. Unquote. We remain committed to making whatever reforms are needed while preserving the national interest. We will never be uncooperative or obstructive, but will intensify our resolve to fight money laundering and the financing of international terrorism. Hello, fellow Liberians. What did I tell you the other day? When the government delegation came to the U.S., the primary objective for their coming, they met with the Financial Crimes Enforcement Network of the United States Department of the Treasury, FinCEN.
Yeah.
What did I tell you was the purpose of meeting with FinCEN? For them to agree to cooperate with more stringent anti-terrorism financing and what? Money laundering. That's what I told you. You remember? I told you that the Americans were particularly concerned about money laundering and about international financing of terrorism or financing of international terrorism. Now, then they go back to Liberia, and what happens? The Minister of State charters a private jet. And I'm going to give you the details of the jet and everything about this. And the jet takes off from RIA to go to Accra and then to Malta. And in this thing, they say what? The purpose of the clearance as granted by the permit, flying over and landing and all that kind of thing. They said the permit was granted, and the reason McGill got, and McGill's name is here, is right here in the document. The purpose of flight. Hold on, folks. Let me read. Listen. Here is my suspicion. These guys were moving stolen money to London in Malta. Malta is the capital of money laundering in that part of the world. I just read the story for you where the Prime Minister of the country himself acknowledges that Malta or financial institutions in Malta or criminals are engaged in money laundering and international terrorism or the financing of international terrorism. Now, Nathaniel McGill, after the Liberia Civil Aviation Authority sent him this overflight and landing permit. So the plane came from abroad. He needed a plane, this charter flight. He needed the permit to allow this plane to come in on Saturday. So they granted him the permit for this flight. Now they stayed here. I'm going to read for you. But I guess you're wondering, how did Costa get this particular information? Let me tell you how. I told you McGill is such an idiot. Yes, people do make mistakes, but let me tell you what McGill did. After McGill took this document and dumped it into a chat room, a group chat room. He mistakenly put the document in a group chat room.
Oh.
That is how I got the document. Nathaniel McGill, after he received this landing and overflight permit, He took the document and mistakenly dropped the document in a group chat room. Somebody quickly took the document and shared the document with me. Now, why would McGill be sending a private jet to Malta of all places? Malta, the money laundering capital in that part of the world. Why would McGill be sending any private jet there? Now listen, I'm going to give you the information here, folks. I'm reading the document for you. Republic of Liberia, Civil Aviation Authority, Overflight and Landing Permission. Amendment, GG, GLRB, YDX, DYX, GLRB. These are all the codes and all that kind of stuff. This is the document. This is the landing permit. The Liberia Civil Aviation Authority hereby grants overflight and landing permission to Ministry of State for Presidential Affairs on behalf of Aircom Global. This is the company he chartered the jet from. Aircom Global. It's actually Air Commercial Global. That's the name of it. Air Commercial Global. Based on the following details. Aircraft operator. Air Commercial Global. That's the name of the company McGill chartered the jet from. Air Commercial Global. The aircraft registration is 9H-BCP. Aircraft registration is 9H-BCP. The aircraft type, the type of aircraft is a Learjet 45. You can Google this. Learjet. Let me spell it for you. Learjet is L-E-A-R-J-E-T. That's one word. L-E-A-R-J-E-T. It's a Learjet 45. It's a fast-moving plane. The call sign. What's the call sign of this jet? Is RH call sign, something like the license plate, okay? The call sign, something like that, is RJR007. Let me read it. The call sign of this jet, of this Learjet 45 jet operated by Air Commercial Global, the call sign is RJR007. The MTOW, not available. The purpose of flight. The purpose of flight is guest of the president, emergency medical for government. This is the purpose of the flight. Are you listening, folks? Are you listening? They're claiming that the purpose of this flight, guest of the president, emergency medical for government.
Costa, I want to come in quickly, please.
Yes.
I'm not cutting you off. Yeah, there was this. Somebody told me, somebody close to them told me that Mr. McGill
Trying to get his mother out of the country.
Yeah, putting for a charter flight to fly his mother out of the country because she was
Malta,
sick.
that Malta, he will carry him out to the capital of money laundering.
Yeah,
But
that
when
was,
you heard anybody carry the people from Liberia to Malta for medical treatment? Huh?
no.
No, I heard that story. No, you're right. No, I did hear that story.
Yeah.
That he tried to charter a jet to put him to fly him out. But why would he charter a jet that will fly her out first to Ghana and then from Ghana to Malta? Okay. Malta is not known for treating people. Malta is not known to be a destination for people who are sick. Malta is known to be the destination of people who are looking to launder dirty money, to clean their dirty money. Yes, I just read an article, June 23rd. The French government took an action and blacklisted Malta for money laundering and the financing of terrorism. Did we also not say a few months ago that the Americans were concerned about terrorism financing and money laundering in Liberia? That's why they call these heathens to come to America. Why would you carry your mother to Malta if That I mind one of the carry guy. So now listen. This is the purpose of the flight. So the purpose of the flight, guy, listen to this. Guest of the president. Emergency medical for government. Who is a guest of the president? McGill's mother is a guest of the president? Hello, guy?
Yeah.
Is McGill's mother the guest of the president that they wanted to fly out of Malta to the capital of money laundering? The date of the flight, June 26th. This is the day McGill's mother passed away. McGill's mother passed away on the same date of the date of this flight is Saturday, June 26, 2021. McGill's mother passed away on that same day. So are you saying McGill brought the plane in to fly his mother to Malta? The schedule of the flight. Listen to the flight schedule. From Roberts International Airport to Accra and then to Malta. I'm going to repeat that. The schedule of the flight. From Roberts International Airport to Accra, then to Malta. Now, Pwaga, listen to this. Why would they make a stop over in Accra? What, to refuel? Okay. And then why would they go straight to Malta? You mean they couldn't take her to Europe? Okay. To one of those European countries like Brussels, the UK? You mean? So is McGill's mother the guest of the president?
Yeah.
Why would they say the purpose of the flight is a medical mission for the guest of the president? Hello? Why would they? Now, this is a route. The route is via approved routes. 72 hours granted in case of technical or weather delays. This permit is valid for only 72 hours. Best regards. The issuance of overflight landing permits into Liberia is limited to arrival and departure at the Roberts International Airport and the James Spriggs Airport only. However, requests for any domestic flight permit within Liberia will require a separate permit. All applications should be made to the Liberia Airport, the Liberia Civil Aviation Authority. Processing time may take up to 3 weeks in order to meet all of the requirements. Okay. The processing time takes up to 3 weeks to get a landing permit. But listen to this. People need to see this jet. This is no small jet, the Lear 45. But is McGill's mother a guest of the president that needed to be flown to Malta, the capital of money laundering? That's the question we need to ask ourselves, folks. So, fellow Liberians, there you have it. Nathaniel McGill chartered a private jet, a Lear 45 private jet, that flew into Liberia, took off from RRA, went to Accra, made a stopover, and then flew straight to Malta, the capital of money laundering in the world. What do you think was the purpose of that flight? Even though the stated, purported reason of the flight is a medical mission, that they were flying a guest of the president. They brought a plane to Liberia to fly a guest of the president for medical reasons. But they took them to Malta. Malta is not known for what is called medical tourism. Well, they didn't take them to any country in the other country in Europe. Why Malta? By the way, just so you know, Malta is one of the countries in the world that sells their citizenship. Just so you know, they're one of the top countries in the world where you can go and buy their citizenship. I'm going to give you the amount of money. Malta sells citizenship. You can go to Malta, Boakai, and you can literally buy their citizenship. You can go to Malta and you can buy their passport. If you can, it's called a golden passport or citizenship by investment program. They have a program there where you can go to Malta and you can pay up to $1 million US.
Costa, there's a jet.
Yeah, well, that is a jet. Yeah, beautiful jet.
Yeah.
That's a Learjet 45.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So the Maltese government engages in this practice where they sell their citizenship to multi-millionaires who have minimal links to the country. People who have absolutely nothing to do in Malta. You go to Malta, you pay $1 million, they give you their passport. That's what they do. They call it the cash for visa schemes. Now, they've been investigated for this. I'm going to read it. Forbes magazine published this story on April 22nd, 2021. That's 2 months ago. I'm going to read the story for you. This is not the first time that Malta has landed in hot water with the European Union for its cash for passport scheme. The clashes actually started years ago, and the EU is conducting infringement proceedings against the country's golden backdoor that permits super rich individuals to get visas, securing unrestricted access to the European Union. So the EU has been concerned about Malta. Why do you sell visas? Why do you sell passports? And people use it, all kinds of shady people. A journalistic investigation of leaked documents shows what the Guardian calls the highly artificial nature of the golden passport scheme, unquote. That thanks to loopholes, permits many applicants pay enormous fees to claim nationality based on a genuine link to Malta may be largely spurious or superficial. The new report confirms the European Commission's suspicions and fears. Not only that many of the golden passport or golden visa holders don't have real links with the country, which is one of the conditions in such arrangements, but the scheme can be exploited for money laundering, corruption, and tax evasion by high-rich people wanting entry to the European Union. Hello, what can a scheme be used for? Money laundering and tax evasion. So, but if we keep reading about this stuff, Malta is a money laundering hub. It is one of the key destinations for money laundering and the financing of terrorism. This is no joke. Don't play with Malta. Now listen, security and uber rich. Quote, European values are not for sale, unquote. Ursula von der Leyen, the Commission's president, said when the Maltese government denies any shady dealings and argues that the country has a final decision over who can get a passport, and that applicants are strictly checked. Super rich Russians, Chinese, and Saudis have secured unrestricted access to the EU via a Maltese cash for passport scheme that requires them to spend less than 3 weeks in the country. Okay. Malta sells their passports to the rich. Chinese people, Russian people, Saudis have gone to Malta and they bought the passport for $1 million. And because Malta is a member of the European Union, once you hold the passport, you have unrestricted, unfettered access to the entire EU. You don't need visa. So, what are we talking about here? This is a country that sells its passport for $1 million to anybody who can pay. To absolutely anybody who can pay. This is the country that is the capital of money laundering. This is where McGill chartered a flight and said, now fly. On the 23rd of June, the European Union, the French government, took a decision to slam Malta, to blacklist them for money laundering and the international and the financing of international terrorism. This is where McGill said I tried to fly. Now, McGill will have you believe that he wanted to say a man to Malta. Now, I'm sure before today, many of you did not even know that a country exists called Malta.
Yeah.
Thank you. Somebody just posted, Malta is the first EU state to be placed on international money laundering watch list. The first European Union country to be placed on a watch list for money laundering. Of all the 20-something countries in the EU, Malta is the first to be placed on a watch list for engaging in money laundering, and Malta sells her passports. And the entire EU is concerned about that scheme, selling a passport for $1 million. So this is where McGill chartered a private jet. The jet came in, landed at RIA. Whoever the jet carried, I don't know. But I know that the jet did not carry McGill's mother because McGill's mother died at JFK at 5:30 p.m. on Saturday. So the jet did not carry McGill's mother. So what did the jet carry to Malta, to the capital of money laundering in the EU? What did that jet carry? Fellow Liberians, that is a question we need to ask ourselves. What did the jet carry to Malta? Let's go to the phone lines and take some calls. And before we leave here, I want to say this. I have another issue we'll be talking about shortly. Businessman, Counselor at Law George B. Kailondo is taking issue up with GT Bank. GT Bank stole some money from George Kailondo, $930,000 United States dollars from his bank account. We have all the details here. They started stealing the money back in 2015. They were scheming from his account, $930,000 US dollars. Now, some of you would think, oh, maybe Kailondo is just accusing the people. No, but they pay some back. Oh, they set up a committee. When Mr. Kailondo noticed that the money was being stolen from his account, he raised the issue, and GT Bank and Kailondo set up a team, what they call a reconciliation committee. Not to reconcile their differences, or to reconcile the accounts and the activities of their accounts. That's what financial people, auditors and stuff, that's what they use. Now listen, Kailondo brought one auditor, they brought 3 auditors. They did the reconciliation, they agreed that, yes, they did steal $930,000 United States dollars from Counselor at Law George B. Kailondo's account. In May of the 930, they paid $420,000 to Kailondo in May of this year. May, that's 2 months ago. What, guy?
Yeah.
2 months ago, GT Bank paid they paid $510,000 in May. $510,000 in May was paid to Kailondo. So there was an outstanding of $420,000. Of the outstanding, they finally paid another $112,500 on Friday to George B. Kailondo. They have a balance of what? If you minus 112,500 from 420, let's do the math. 112500 minus. I'm hearing that noise, man. You'll find out what's causing that noise.
The machine is a generator. We'll talk that right after the show.
No, you sure that the generator? Okay, hold on. So listen, what the old Kailondo here is a balance of what? $307,500. GT Bank. Now, this was not in the media at all. They had been scheming off of Kailondo's account, and they stole a total of $930,000 from George B. Kailondo. Man, he's a businessman, petroleum importer, and all of that. So when Kailondo noticed that they had been stealing from him since 2015, he went to them and approached them. Initially, they were in denial. And he they set up the reconciliation committee. They brought the auditors, they audited the account. The bank agreed that they stole $930,000 from Kailondo's account. Of the $930,000 stolen from Kailondo's account, the bank paid in May of this year $510K. $510,000 to pay in May. Kailondo had to heat them up. Finally, they pay him another they pay him another $12,500 on Friday, just this past Friday. Now, they owe him a balance of $307,500. That's what GT Bank owes Kailondo. But that's not all. It doesn't settle the case. The fact that they stole this man's money from his bank account at their bank, Kailondo is asking them, is demanding that they pay him $1.5 million in damages. I was saving my money with your bank. You stole my money from my account. Kailondo is claiming, and he's correct, he's right, that if I had this money, I could have used this money, I would have earned income from turning this money around. Had you not stolen this money, this is as far back as 6 years ago when I started scheming off of the man's account. He said, had you not stolen this money from my account, I would have been able to generate income off of this money. But if you had $930,000 somebody stole from you, almost $1 million.
Yes.
5 years ago, they stole $1 million from you. You know how much money you could have earned investing $1 million, Baka?
Sure.
So that's what they stole from Kailondo. So Mr. Kailondo wants the public, the public needs to know this. I heard he spoke to other papers and stuff. When I heard this story, I was like, what? $930,000 stolen from George B. Kailondo's account at GT Bank. The bank and Kailondo did the reconciliation. They paid him $510,000 in May. They paid him $112,500 on Friday of last week. Now they owe Mr. Kailondo a remainder of $307,500, and Kailondo is demanding $1.5 million in damages, and the bank says they don't want to pay. The bank does not want to pay Mr. Kailondo any damages when they stole his money and they agreed that they stole his money. They only want to settle the remainder of $307,500. Waka, this is scary, Waka. Is it not scary? If you had money in a bank and you hear this sort of thing about Kailondo,
yeah, very scary.
They stole Mr. Kailondo's money.
How are you going to
$930,000, almost $1 million, Waka. While Kailondo is they stole the money from his business account. They started stealing it small. $930,000. I mean, Baka, this is scary. Why would anybody want to bank money in Liberia?
So, Costa, if they can do it to a well-known man like Kailondo, what's about the people, the ordinary Liberian citizen?
Of course. So they pay $510,000 in May. Then and $12,500. The bank is not arguing. Okay. The thing is, the bank is not arguing. They are not denying it. They say, yes, we agree. We stole it. We stole the money. But in fact, they are not saying we stole the money. They say we mistakenly took the money. Like Samuel 12, borrowing initiative. How can you mistakenly take somebody's money? Almost $1 million. Jesus Christ. Almost $1 million. This is very scary. So now they don't want to pay Kailondo the damages, $1.5 million. Kailondo says, I demand $1.5 million in damages because my money that you stole, had you not stolen that money, I would have used that money, invested it, and I would have generated a lot of money. He says, I think $1.5 million, which is what Kailondo is asking for, I think is even very reasonable. It's extremely reasonable. I think the bank needs to pay Kailondo the $1.5 million in damages for stealing his damn money. Let's go to the phone lines, Bugger. Let's go to the phone lines and take some calls there. We just read out a document, a flight, overflight and landing permit for a flight that Nathaniel McGill secured. A private jet flew into Liberia on Saturday the 26th and picked up something, and we suspect is money, stolen money. Do you know why George Weah lost private jet? He flies away every time, Bugger.
No.
Because that's how he takes his stolen money. abroad. That's how he takes the stolen money abroad in a private jet. That's why he loves private jets so much. Everywhere he goes, he has to have one because he takes the stolen money abroad. Now, sending a private jet to Malta, what could McGill? Then McGill is saying the purpose of the flight was to send a guest of the president for medical. Who sends anybody to Malta for treatment? Let's go to the lines. Let's take some calls. We don't believe this. McGill did not send a private jet to Malta to treat his mother. His mother died on Saturday, and Malta is not where he will send his mother for treatment. No, it is not where he will send his mother for treatment. McGill's mother died Saturday, 5:30 p.m. at JFK. Manwata. That's McGill. That was her name. No. This jet must have been carrying dirty money. Why? Because Malta is the capital of money laundering in the European Union. How can we prove this? On the 23rd of June, you can Google it. Malta was blacklisted by the French-based or the Paris-based organization called, what is it called? Hold on. They're called something. I'm going to go read it. They went ahead and they took action and they slammed Malta for engaging in financing of international terrorism and for money laundering. This is the capital of money laundering in the EU. It is the first European Union country to be blacklisted by Paris-based, what is called Financial Action Task Force. They put them on a watch list for engaging in terrorism and all that kind of stuff. This is sad. Okay? This is extremely sad. Let's go to the lines. Let's take some calls. So let McGill tell the country what was in that flight. What was on board that flight? It was not his mother, because his mother passed away on Saturday at 5:30 p.m. So what was on that flight? Or is he going to say the flight was canceled? Oh, but why did he even get a flight to go to Malta? You also know that you think the boys, that's why the boys carry their money. That's why they carry that. That's why they carry their money. George Weah, McGill, all those boys. Let's take some calls.
All right, 0770102102886 0103833 555-102-102. The WhatsApp number is +231 888 624171. So let's take Noah Zhao Gibson on this line. Noah, good morning, welcome.
Good morning. Yeah.
Good
morning, Costa, our leader. Good morning to our diaspora Liberians. My name is Noah Zhao Gibson. I'm phoning as usual from Chicotown, my Somalia Drive resident, district number 2. But before I make the point, Waka, I don't know why were you not taking our calls during the time Costa was there. I say back to back. There were a lot of saving points out there, and we have some of us have some songs to make, and then you just, I don't know why it went that way, but it didn't go well with me, so I thought to express this before I make my point. But having said this, Leo, again, as usual, business as usual, we want to thank you for this breaking news. And our critics are listening again. They want to take it and start to play on their news agencies, right? Even though they view our chairman to be one of the most black media, according to them, in their wrong choice of word. But they want to come and take this and be running with it and be saying it authoritatively. But you see, the point I'd like to make as I conclude, I think this government is a Christ for Liberia. And there's a reason why you told the Liberian people in the second round of 2017 that they must choose between Ojorobo and poison. And they chose the poison. And today you see, this even has the propensity of even blacklisting Liberia instead of sanctioning individuals as we are expecting. the country might just be, sanctioned again. Because they think it's not something to joke with. Because what you're saying is very concrete. You have never said anything here that has now been substantive. So I'm worried for my country. They think, what's my word? This will add Liberia. In fact, the sanction, instead of it being individual, it might just be the country that will be sanctioned, like in the case of Charles Taylor 2001.
Okay.
I think the opposition needs to speak on this. Thank you ever so much for coffee. In fact, thank you for the donation, the COP. Conclude on this quick. I want to thank the COP for making the donation against the fight of for the fight against COVID-19. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Noah Zao Gibson. So the phone lines are open. 86-0103-83 555-102-102 0770-102-102. Yeah, every number you call this morning, you will be live with us. The WhatsApp number is +231 888 624171. Yeah, that's it. +231 888 624171. So the phone lines are open. Keep your calls coming in this morning.
You know, Baga, when I told Seditians that I graduated with honors, many of them were making mockery. Not only have I received my diploma, which I published, and they've all seen it. Yesterday, I received in the mail an honor from Wilmington University. I graduated with, I received a certificate of honor for making the academic dean's list. Now, the academic dean's list is given to students who show the highest level of scholarship, of brilliance. I'm going to read that. It's given to just about between 1% to 5% of the entire student population. Yeah. Wilmington University, academic dean's list. This certificate of honor is presented to Henry P. Costa, spring 2021, by the administration and faculty of Wilmington University in recognition of excellence in scholarship. Excellence in scholarship. We congratulate you and have confidence that your future will continue to be successful. Lavan J. Harmon, President and Vice President for Academic Affairs here. They signed this. Now, academic excellence. The academic dean's list. You can look it up. When I told them I graduated with honor, I know playing for but I know say I lying.
Yeah, even 12
when I posted, I said I was lying. I didn't graduate with honor. But there you have it. I'm in the top 1% of the graduates in terms of academic excellence. And brother, I hardly use a study. I know I'm not bragging, but with all this work that we got to do, all this stress and the pressure we got to deal with, what time did I have to be studying? I spent very little time studying, folks. Very little time. I could have done way better than they said. Academics Dean's List. You can read about it. They only gave it to between 1% to 5%. The top 1% to 5% of the student population. Those are the people that get this. This is the highest academic, it shows highest level academic scholarship. And I'm honored. I'm really honored by that. And why do we say these things? Because we're a public figure. And we share these things because when our detractors try to say nonsense, these things happen. I didn't expect I was going to get this. I'm going to be honest with you. You know me. If I had known, I would have told you. I did not expect I was going to get this. But to be considered, this is incredible. I am deeply honored to receive this honor. Now let's go back to the phone lines. Nathaniel McGill charters a jet. The jet lands at RIA. It picks up something, not his mother. His mother died on Saturday at 5:30 p.m. The jet takes off from Liberia. It goes to Accra. It takes off from Accra, then it goes to where? To Malta, the capital of money laundering in the EU. The capital of money laundering in the EU. Why would McGill charter a jet that goes to Malta? Let's go back to the line. Let's take more calls. We've got all the information. And then they said the purpose of the flight is medical evacuation for a guest of the president. A guest of the president? McGill's mother is a guest of the president? Of course not.
Yeah.
Let's take some more calls.
All right, let's take somebody from this line here. Good morning.
Good morning.
A guest of the president.
Yeah, your name, where you calling us from?
Good morning, Hiram P. Costa, and good morning to you, Boyka.
Yeah, welcome.
My name is Augustus Tume, and I'm calling you from Munich in Germany.
Welcome.
Thank you so much. I want to thank you, Costa, for giving all of your efforts, your time, and your energy, your resources into making sure that Liberian people are informed of the ills and the odds from bad leadership. What I have to send for this morning concerning the McGill issue, Costa, is not just today. These things have been happening, you know, and our Liberian people continue to be stubborn and blind and take in the head, you know, let me say it that way. Costa, you know that few of those guys you've been pointing out, do you know that they regularly visit the EU? And they don't come to the EU because they are coming to see the skyscrapers or the waters and things around here. They come here because they come here to open accounts to bring in our Liberian people money. That's what they do. I know Gray is regularly here, and I know he's going to listen to me this morning with friends on Facebook. We've chatted on several issues before. I know he's here.
1 minute per caller, Boyka.
They come here, they go to Malta, they open their accounts and bring our Liberian people money here.
Okay.
While our people are dying there.
All right.
So I just want to thank you, Costa, and congratulate you for the effort that you took to go to school and get your degree and make them shame. And continue.
Thank you so much, my brother, for calling in. 886-010-333-555-102-102. So is it today that we expect our president to address the conference that he's attending?
Well, the president is not speaking. The president has been trying to hustle his way to get on the thing, but he's not going to be speaking. Take a few more calls, then we'll take our guest. Take 2 more calls. We'll take our guest, Mr. Ambila Mame, and he will join us shortly. The advocacy against the amendment, which has already happened. The amendment. The amendment of the oil law, of the petroleum law. Ambila Mame will join us shortly. Okay.
Yeah. So
take 2 more calls, and Ambila Mame will join us shortly.
All right. Let's take DJ Lomer on this line. DJ Lomer, good morning. Welcome.
Yeah, Boyka, good morning. Let me say good morning to Henry Pedro Costa. Thank you for the information this morning that you are giving us. It shows to the Liberian people that these guys are bunch of thieves, bunch of criminals that are stealing our country money, stealing our resources, and packing it into their own homes at the end of the day that when they order power, they can use this money. But by the grace of God, every plan that they have for this country, they will be defeated. And we take our money back from them. That shows to the people that the private jet that were assigned to these people as they borrow, they were using it to transport our money. So there was no case for the president. We were talking about the president going to Paris. And thank God that he's in Paris. He has been mediated. Those physicians that he said, oh, the man going to speak. That man will not speak. Thank you for the information yesterday. And everyone all got it. Look, this man has brought complete disgrace to the presidency of this country. This country is no more respected in the outside world because of President we are. I think this is the time that like people put their action together and see where to move 2023. There's no time for retreat. This man say he was mediated in France. I pray that it will be mediated more than that. Like people will see it, that it will be disgraced by America on the war economic ground. We wait to see that coming. Because I thank you, and thank you for the post yesterday, and thank you for the donation by COP yesterday. Thank you very much. May God continue.
Thank you so much, DJ Lomer, for calling in.
Take the last caller, and we'll take my maid. By the way, hold on. Our president in Paris, begging the people to let him speak. You know what they did? We said it yesterday in the podcast. Some of you may not have watched it. The man was not invited. They did not invite the man. He's not speaking. His name is not on the guest list, the list of speakers. The man went there trying to force his way. They're begging the people. The reason the people don't want to even bother with them because Liberia has been, our COVID case has been elevated to level 4. The CDC, the Centers for Disease Control, issued a travel advisory elevating Liberia's COVID crisis to level 4. Now that's a very high level. So the man goes to Paris. Nobody receives him at the airport. I mean, from the French Foreign Ministry, as is the custom. The people from the Liberian embassy in Paris who go to receive him are isolated. Nobody wants to even see George Weah. On top of the fact that he was not even invited, now he's coming from a country that has a very high case of COVID. You see the trouble? You see the trouble we are in? It's a big embarrassment. He had absolutely no business going to France. Now, somebody said to me, Costa, I don't think you should have gone out on a limb to definitively say that Weah will not speak at the forum and he will not meet Macron. Well, he said he was going to meet Macron, but my sources embedded with the very delegation have told me that Macron is not going to meet with George Weah. Macron will not meet with George Weah. George Weah will not speak at the forum. There will be no on the margins meeting, as they said in their so-called, in their press release. No meeting will happen on the sidelines of the thing, because this is a virtual summit. Most of the speakers are speaking virtually. Kamala Harris is speaking. She's not there. She's here in America. Hillary Clinton is speaking. She's not going to France. Lots of people who are speaking aren't going to be in Paris or are not in Paris. So where the hell did these idiots think Weah was going to go to Paris and they were going to give him time to speak? Weah were begging the people, yo, let me speak. Even on Thursday, because the main event opens today. Okay? The main event opens today. That's when the main event begins. At 12:30 in p.m. in Paris. That's when the event begins today, which will be 9:30 Eastern time. Now, Mr. Weah badly wants to speak. They say no. He asked them to squeeze me in for a few minutes for Thursday. They said no. We can't. We can't squeeze you in. You can't just come here and ask us to squeeze you in to speak when we're not expecting you. It doesn't work that way, Bogai.
Yeah, but Costa, for me, I think they will make their way one way or the other. It costs for them to spend huge amount of money just to
let him speak.
Just to get him speak. Yeah, Costa.
Look, Bogai, you are right. I wouldn't be surprised. They may try all kinds of ways just to get this guy a few minutes to speak because it's embarrassing. So I am told they are making frantic efforts to try to get George Weah to speak. Now, the French people aren't, so far, they have not been, forthcoming. They haven't agreed, but I'm told they're making a frantic effort to try to get George Weah to speak. I'm telling you. That's what they're trying to do, to just get Weah to say a few words so that they can say, yeah, the president went to France, the president spoke. But there's a lot of things they want. They want to meet Macron. They want to speak. I don't know what they're going to get, but I'm told they're making efforts. They're making lots of efforts. I don't know whether they can bribe people there to try to speak, but I'm told so far the French people have said absolutely not. Yeah, well, that's the thing. Virtually, what kind of speaking? Is he going to speak in person? I doubt it. They're having a thing at this place called the Carousel du Louvre. The Carousel du Louvre. That's where the program is being held. Now, just a very small number of people Small number of people are in the building. It's a small number. Now, there's not a lot of people. Just a few people are in this building. The rest of the other people are home and they're around the world, and that's where they join the program from via Zoom. So, Bogey, George Weah is very unlikely that he's going to be allowed to speak. Very, very unlikely. Isaac Batuba, that's a good question. What content does he have to offer? That's the point. What is he going to be talking about? What is he going to be talking about? He calls himself the feminist in chief. How has being the feminist in chief helped the cause of Liberian women to drive the cause of equality in a society, beginning with the government? How has he treated his own vice president, Wagai? How can you say you are the feminist in chief when you take every opportunity to disrespect and put your VP down, who is a woman? You understand? I mean, so it's just sad.
Such a program should have been meant for the vice president.
That is if Liberia were meant to speak. But Liberia was not meant to speak. We're not participating. The man is the president of a whole country. They have people who are speaking who are not presidents. They have activists who are speaking. And their names were published as speakers. Why didn't they, if he was a speaker, why didn't they publish his name?
Yeah.
Are the activists more important than George Weah, that they will publish their names as speakers, but not the president of a republic, regardless of how big of a dummy he is? They didn't publish his name because Mr. Weah is a fool. He had absolutely no business going to France. You know, I tell you this, as I said in my podcast yesterday, when Mr. Weah realized a few months ago that the French President Macron convened a summit and invited heads of African states, and the purpose of the summit was to mobilize and marshal financial investments for Africa, for African countries, and that he was not invited. It really hurt him. It hurt George Weah so badly. Because you see, he's always trying to let people know that France is his best friend, that they are his buddies. Now, Mame just joined us. Brother Mame, good morning.
Good morning, Hamwe.
Good morning.
Hamwe.
Welcome, my brother.
Halfway.
Very good. You were freezing there a little bit. I think you're okay now. Good morning. Okay, you are going to have to lower your monitor, your little device, your monitor, lower it in the background, please.
Okay, I did that already.
Fantastic. Brother Mame is joining us. Ambulai Mame. Ambulai Mame is a trained oil and gas. Ambulai, you went to school to study oil and gas, right? Didn't you?
I actually went to school to study agriculture development, but as a matter of fact, I did extensive research and training in oil and gas.
I know. I remember you graduated and you received that recognition when you did your studies in agriculture. But let's talk a little bit about that, please, because I remember it was a big thing at the time. We're all very proud of you. Let's talk about that a bit.
Oh yeah, so came to the U.S. study agriculture development, but I won the Christian Fellowship for Agricultural Investment. The fellowship actually selects 3 students every year in North America, for the entire North America. So I was one of those 3 students who were selected for a 1-year investment, hands-on training in agricultural investment. Traveled across the U.S., went to Mexico and other countries, and visited the Mexico former president, Vincent Fox. You know, he's a big guy in agriculture development and investment.
Yeah.
He transformed the Mexico agriculture sector. So we had all the opportunities and then a whole lot about how to invest in emerging economies, especially when it has to do with agriculture and smallholder investment. So that's what I did, at least for graduate studies. But when I work with local, I have specific interest in understanding the oil sector and gas, but to understand how it works. So I spent most of my time doing research. I did a crash course in the fundamental of oil and gas, and that served as a basis and background for my extensive research and my understanding in the sector.
Brother, my man, thank you. I remember when you received that fellowship, we were all very proud of you, still are, and the exposure you got. I hope the time will come when we can utilize that education in Liberia.
Hopefully.
Agriculture is
absolutely, yeah, that would definitely happen.
Very, very good. Now, Ambila Mame worked with NOCAL, understands how NOCAL worked, and how the oil industry worked. And so he's an advocate, particularly right now focusing on a travesty of justice that has been meted out against the Liberian people. The oil law, 2016 petroleum law, I believe that's what it is, had a provision in it, section 36, that provided for 5% equity for Liberians. And the Weir administration in 2020 proceeded to amend that. I don't know what it was, 2020, but Brother Mame, I just wanted to lay the basis, but I'm going to turn over now to you, my dear brother, so that you can first lay the basis and then tell us why you are against what has happened, which is the amendment of the 5% provision in the law. You're welcome. The floor is yours.
Thank you, Costa. I said, just a bit of clarity. It's not about me, Ambula, being against the amendment.
Oh, I am against it too. I mean, lots of Liberians, I know I'm against it.
Exactly. So it's a coalition of organizations, who've come together and raised the issue about the amendment. What we came here to do today to Liberians is to highlight what has happened and to see how we can work together along with the Costa Show and other people and senators who are expressing interest, like Senator Dillon and the lawyers who are working with us to see how we can reverse what has been done. But it is sad, and the point is we want to show the historical trend of what was existing as a petroleum law and what happened under that regime, how the amendment, how the 2016 law was adapted to address those problems, and how this amendment had reignited what happened that led, so that people can have an appreciation of the amendment and of the law and understand what the amendment has done. So we had a petroleum law, 2002 petroleum law. Under that regime, a lot of things happened. Petroleum agreements were signed. Musa Dean was at NOCAL, the current head of on the board of the Petroleum Directorate now, from Grand Cape County, who owns Fabric Radio. What his name?
Fode
Krumah. So Fode Krumah was there, and Abachi and other folks were working in the oil sector. So they had a 2002 petroleum law. What it did was they awarded petroleum agreements to companies that did not have the technical capability and the financial capability to conduct oil exploration. They awarded petroleum agreement to Orento. I think you heard about the story with Orento.
Yeah.
They awarded 3 blocks to
the Nigerian Prince Arthur Akpechuku Easy.
Thank you.
Atlas Orento.
Thank you. So they awarded 3 blocks to Orento for less than 500,000.
Blocks 10, 11, and
13,
14.
14.
Right?
10, 11, and 14.
Yeah.
Between
Orento.
Thank you. Between 2002, during the Judy Bryant administration, and 2003 to 2005, they awarded those blocks to Orento. They also awarded Block 13 to Broadway Consolidated. Broadway Consolidated had Liberians who had equity. Abochie and other used Ada Lawrence as equity owner. Ada did not have money to take equity.
But Ada used to work for that company that Abochie and his partners owned.
Exactly. So they used Ada Lawrence's name on the document as equity holder, but instead it was Abochie and other whose equity Ada were protecting.
Gisela Murray, the current Minister of Lands and Mines.
Thank you. So they did that. They also had Councillor David Jala having equity.
Jala, who passed away.
They also have Moluba Wele, who was the Deputy Minister for Lands and Mines at the time, also having equity. They also had Jonathan Mazing, who was the Minister
of Lands and Mines at the time,
also having equity.
He struck the deal. He struck the deal.
Thank you.
Because NOCAL didn't exist then, really, right?
No, NOCAL was existing. Musa Dean was at NOCAL.
Yeah, okay, yeah, you're right.
Musa Dean was at NOCAL. Fode Krumah was at NOCAL. Jonathan Mazing and Moluba Wele were at Lands and Mines, and Abochie and Adolph Lawrence and the other folks were on the other side. So they struck the deal. They sold Black 13 to Broadwell. In 2013, when President Salif's administration was trying to review the contract, and they made a decision to sell Black 13 because Broadwell did not have any capability to do oil exploration. It was just a deal. When Broadway was sold to ExxonMobil, Adolph, and the rest of the folks who had equity in Black 13 made $68.5 million. They share that money. The same thing with Orento. Orento bought 3 blacks for less than $500,000. When Orento was sold to Chevron, Orento was sold for $250 million.
Yep.
The Nigerian name you see keep flourishing in this discussion is not the only person who benefited from the $250 million. He was used as a shield. Easy was not the only person who benefited from this $240 million. So, given all the experience of what happened, and all these negotiations were done through direct negotiation and not through.
Yes.
It was because of the reason those blacks ended in the hand of unqualified, incompetent companies who will later sell the black, generate money, and share with public officials.
Yep.
$250 million for Broadway, for Orento, $68.5 million for Abochie, Adolph Lawrence, Jonathan Mason, Willie, and Jala.
Gisela Murray.
Gisela Murray. So
the current Minister of Lands and Mines.
So given that experience, the United States government, through the Department of Energy and other international partners in the Liberian government.
By the way, Brother Mame, let me hold you there. Isaac, welcome. We don't want to interrupt Mame. Let Mame flow. You are coming.
Let Mame flow. Let him flow.
Yeah. So we want the Liberian people to take flight with us as we go, so that they can understand the process and see what has happened.
Yep.
So, given that historical trend of manipulation, of how public officials manipulated the sector and made over $200 million at the expense of the country, the U.S. government, through the Department of Energy and the Liberian government and other stakeholders, decided to reform the sector and put into the law safeguards to prevent some of these things that happen. That's how we came to doing the 2013 and 2014 petroleum consultation. So a new law was produced. Basically, among other things, when we went for the consultation, Liberians disagreed on many things, but there was one thing they agreed on. They said, given the history of natural resource management in Liberia, there have been no agreement that states how the citizen will benefit. You come here today, and Costa, if you can remember, I presented the petroleum law across the 15 counties. and also presented during the stakeholder consultation and roundtable consultation.
And by the way, I received a small consultancy from that project. You remember?
Yeah.
From the oil consultancy.
Thank you. So the people ask critical questions. You bring to us a petroleum sharing contract. It has source of funding going to government signature bonus. It has surface rental. It has taxes. It has CSR payments. It has profit oil, all going to the state.
Cost oil, profit oil, all that kind of stuff.
How much is coming to the ordinary Liberians? So the stakeholders agreed across the country that we put into the law 5% for every Liberian. And there are questions that we'll answer on how Liberian will benefit. We will go to that. But the agreement was we should insert into the law 5% equity, basically saying every petroleum contract signed in the country, every profit generated from that petroleum contract, 5% will be deposited into a citizen fund for the benefit of every Liberian, regardless of your political status, regardless of your economic status, regardless of your ability to open or not to open oil company. Once you are a Liberian, you will benefit from the fund deposited in the citizen fund. So the act, the law included in section 36, whole section from 36.1 to 36.7 on how the fund will be established.
It's clear. It's crystal clear, my man.
Crystal clear. Written in black and white, 5% equity for all Liberians.
Okay, then let's proceed to what George Weah did.
Then the law was passed. Since the law was passed, because people keep asking this question. So why during early time we did not benefit from this 5%? Now, the answer is the law was passed in 2016. 2017, there was election. There was no petroleum sharing contract signed in the country. 2018, Weah was inaugurated. There was no agreement signed. 2019, October, Weah amended the law because he knew in April that he was conducting a bid round. So 4 months to the bid round, they amended the law to allow them to do what they are doing today. If they had not amended the law, they wouldn't have had the opportunity to do what they're doing. So they amended the law. The law now reads, unlike before, that said 5% equity for the benefit of a citizen fund. The law now reads 5% equity for businesses owned by persons of natural born citizenship.
Can you imagine that, Isaac? Something that's supposed to be meant for the entire country?
The selfishness and greed of a few people will always undermine the state. Always. Always undermine the benefit of the people. And this is a just cause. This is a cause that we have to really fight for.
Okay. We got you guys.
Costa, not only did they only amend 36.1, all the other subsections about the citizen fund establishment, 36.2, that says, that gave the authority to the petroleum, because equity is not something you just get automatically. The authority was given to the petroleum director to request the equity on behalf of the citizen. They deleted that portion from the law. 36.3, that speaks about how the equity should be a free carried equity for the citizen fund, was deleted from the law.
And by free carried, Mama, let me explain that. By free carried, it means it's equity by automaticity. We ain't got to buy it. We're not paying for it.
Why you love free carry? Why you love free carry?
Yeah, but free carry means we don't want the oil block, so I don't want to share automatically there. Free carry.
And there was a reason for that. The reason for that was ordinary Liberians will not be able to put together resources to pay for the equity.
Thank you.
So in the wisdom of the law,
contribution, Isaac, free carry like Taro.
So 36.3 was deleted.
Now I call Taro by birthright.
Thank you. So that's why we call it Liberians' birthright. in petroleum agreement.
And that's why everybody should be angry that they want to steal your birthright.
Yes, I don't see people angry about this. Mame, this is a great debate, great advocacy. But a lot of people didn't know this, Mame. I didn't know.
I know because the amendment the law is secret.
About it. I did not know.
Because the law was amended
law on the sneak tip in secret. It was not public.
Okay.
They didn't share the information with people.
So, Mame, just finish up there with the amendment, and I have a couple of questions. So does Isaac, and of course,
so let me just calm down. The provision that says the citizens fund, money into the citizen fund, will be managed by an international trust company selected by the Ministry of Finance and the Central Bank and approved by the legislature. That provision was also deleted from the law.
But when there's no citizen fund, Mame, why would they have a provision for a company that will come manage their account?
Thank you.
What? So, you boys are brave.
But that shows how deliberate they were. This is something that got clear. 36.1, 36.2, 36.3, 36.4.
They took everything out.
Directly. It took it out. They clear it out.
Proceed, my man.
This is the contention. This is the issue we raise. Our only position is reverse the law. We're not asking George Weah and Aboche for anything new. We are saying just reverse the law to where you made it, so that each and every Liberian can benefit from the 5%. They proceeded based on this amendment and they selected 9 companies. We share the name of the 9 companies. So this is our issue. I will stop there and allow you to ask questions, because I know there are a lot of questions around how Liberian will benefit and different things around the management of the citizen fund. So I will give you time to ask some of those questions. And there are also questions of how much is this 5% equity in each block. We managed to do a projection. Most of these businesses you see who come today to take equity, they did similar projection for which they are investing their time to take the equity. So we have the projection that they rely on, the money they expect to benefit, the money that should have come to everybody that they expect to benefit. We did a projection. However, you have that projection, we can talk about it.
Thank you, Mame. Folks, there you have it. Ambula Mame is a Liberian who studied development agriculture, but he also has been following with keen interest the oil industry, the petroleum hydrocarbon industry. Worked for NOCAL, the national oil company in Liberia, which is now defunct, essentially, and picked up a crash course in oil and gas, and is an ardent interest holder in the sector. And he and the coalition of, what's the name of the coalition again, my man?
Coalition for the Transformation of Liberian 5% Equity.
Coalition for the Transformation of Liberian 5% Equity. You heard him beautifully make his case. What these guys did is inexplicable, is wrong, is evil. These guys basically bust the law, I wouldn't say amendment, and they removed the provision in the law that provides that guarantees free carried interest to the tune of 5% for Liberians. And that a special fund called the Citizens Fund would be established, where the proceeds generated from what is called profit oil. Now, Mame, if I recall, profit oil is where the proceeds generated, the oil that is declared as profit under the PSA, the Profit Sharing Agreement, or PSC. That oil is what the companies declare as a profit, right? After they call it cost oil.
Yeah, so basically while they are doing exploration associated with a lot of costs, so when they make the discovery, they calculate their cost per the barrel of oil, and then they extract that barrel from oil from the total amount of discovery. They call that the cost oil. The remaining oil is what they call the profit oil.
Yep, I remember very well those jargons and phrases. So that's why Brother Mame is here with us. Isaac, you want to chime in there? You got some questions for Brother Mame?
Yeah, if we break it down by numbers, I think people will get a better understanding what the value of that
5% is
individually and collectively. So I think we should give. Oh my God.
Mame, we want to come back to you. Tell us, Mame, do some, I guess you guys have worked some numbers. You've done some projections. What would 5% equity in a standard size oil operation or oil block be worth? Let's talk about in terms of millions of dollars.
So because the government
easily run into the millions of dollars.
So because the government was awarding 9 blocks, we did the projection under the assumption that discovery would be made in the 9 blocks, and based on TGS NUPEC's data,
Are you the one with the seismic data, or
TGS NUPEC has projected that the Harper Basin, of which the exploration is expected to go in, is having an estimator of at least 1 billion barrel of oil present.
The Harper Basin, where they wanted to do the bid round for the 9 oil blocks.
Yes, the Harper Basin, as per TGS NUPEC projection, has 1 billion barrel of oil present. Based on that number and the current value of oil,
you want to discount it?
Price,
you want to do a little discount?
Come again?
You want to do a little discount?
We did a discount.
No, that's a conservative estimate.
That's a conservative estimate. We estimate that the 5% for the entire 9 blocks is 1.9 billion over the period of time that the oil will be explored and developed.
$1.9 billion.
1.9 billion. It is this 1.9 billion, as per this estimate, that should be going to the Citizen Fund for the benefit of every Liberian under the original law. Under George Weah's amendment, influenced by Abachi, this 1.9 billion will be shared among the 9 companies who they've selected. And that's the reason why these 9 companies are spending everything they can do to get this conversation under the ground and not on these type of platforms.
Yeah, of course. They don't want people talking about this.
They don't want anybody to talk about this.
What?
They don't want it.
So they don't want to give 9 companies $2 billion US.
Yes.
Jesus Christ of Nazareth. Do you know these boys could get sell their equity, their 5% each of the oil blocks? They don't even have to wait.
No. You can flip that thing. Look how they have flipped our resources. You can flip that thing easily.
This is disgusting, my man.
1.9 billion expected to be deposited in a citizen fund over the period of time of exploration. It could be 10 years, it could be 15 years, it could, over the period of time of production, it could be 20 years. 1 billion will be moving into the citizen fund for the benefit of each and every Liberian under the original law. Under the amendment, the 1.9 billion will be moving into the accounts of the 9 companies.
Instead of 5 million people, only 9 companies owned by a handful of Liberians will get it.
And the guy's strategy is we use these businesses as a go-between so that when we are not in government, even while we outside government, once the oil sector is operating and we secure this 5%, we make money. Be it in government or not. And that is the issue. Liberians need to,
let me hold you there. I provided this information to Congressman Chris Smith and Alan White. I did that 2 days ago. They heard Isaac and myself and Larry talk about this when we were expecting you on Monday. And they reached out and they said they needed the information. I provided it right up you guys did.
Thank you. And that's part of the push we need to do.
So people are going to get targeted for this thing.
as you all make efforts to address Congress on the economic issues and crimes, crimes against humanity, economic crimes, these are talking points we need to keep highlighting. But more than that, Costa, even right within Liberia, we can start. I know I've started talking with different legislators. I've spoken with DeLong, I can say that publicly, because he's agreed for me to say it publicly. And he's taking steps to do that. What we need to do is to keep the pressure, is to keep talking to other people we know. A lot of lawmakers who do not want me to call their name now have confirmed to me that because of the technicality associated with the sector when the amendment was introduced, they did not do due diligence. Even if they wanted to do due diligence, they were misled. They were misled into believing that the 5% equity for citizens still remains in the law. But the question they cannot answer is, how much is that equity? Which part of the law can you point to that still maintains the 5% for citizens? What are the modalities by which it will be used? It is reckless, if I do, to include or to assume that 5% is in the law, but all the provisions on how the 5% will be managed, the institution to manage it, deleted from the law. What sense does it make to anybody?
Wow. This is extremely sad.
It's so astounding. Sometimes you can't even express that level of greed and selfishness that few people will compromise thoroughly great companies to do that. They're more than brave. And this is something that the people seriously have to stand against. Have you briefed us on the legal situation and what the status is? Because there is some effort to apply, like you say, pressure on the ground. People need to protest again. We need to do a deep dive on these companies. How they were formed, who are the owners, what kind of structure they have, what kind of experience do they have in the sector? Dissect each of these companies to show that most of them are bogus. One or two of them probably have some history in the sector or have been around for 6-7 years, but the majority of them are new companies with new interests. And we have to look at that. Or
let me tell you something.
Go ahead.
Before going to the status of the legal filing that we expected to do sometime this week or early next week, all the companies don't have experience in oil and gas. Besides that, they were established purposely by politicians, including Abachi, who leading this process. They were established purposely for the 5%. You talk about green petroleum for Musa Bilite's son.
Sidiki Bilite. So are you trying to say Sidiki Bilite stands to get a portion of the 1.9 billion if this thing goes through?
Oh yes.
Then I, Henry Costa, will not get any. You will not get any. I will not get any. The Liberian people will not get any.
The people in the villages will not get any. Sidiki Bilite.
And especially the people who live in that community where they're taking the oil from, they're not benefiting. That's the sad part about our resources. It has not benefited those particular locations.
The thing about the business argument is, our argument has never been against Liberian businesses benefiting from the sector. As a matter of fact, Costa, if you can remember, the last concession the Salif administration signed was signed with Madonna Wento.
I remember very well the last oil block.
Yes.
That was done. Which block was it?
I can't record it.
Okay. I remember when they were redoing that bait. I think something like that.
I think it was block 7. I think 6 or 7.
It was 6 and 7 that they gave to the
China Oil.
To China Oil. Thank you.
Yes.
They took it back, they renegotiated and gave it to another company.
So
Madonna Wento was a partner with them.
Yes. So Madonna went, got his partners, and they came and they bid and they won. He had more than 5% in that block.
And guess what? We were happy for him. I was not against it.
Nobody was against it. So what we say is, the law provide means by which Liberian businesses can benefit without taking the 5% from citizens. Madonna went to got the black, but unfortunately, he could not raise the amount required in the production sharing agreement for signature bonus. Because he was partner to Alex Tyler was insisting that Madonna went to receive the operation license before making the payment. The government refused. That if we give him the license before making the payment, then basically we'll be crediting our natural resource. If he show he has the financial capability to drill, he must have the financial capability to make the upfront direct payment for the signature bonus. He could not. So in the time frame of the agreement, because he failed to make the payment, the agreement went mute. And that's why Alex Tyler insisted at the time that he will not discuss anything from the executive on the floor of the legislature until the petroleum contract awarded to Madonna Wintu can be reactivated. That led to a removal.
Yeah.
So you see what we can do?
The story is the law provides means by which Liberian businesses can benefit without taking the 5% from the citizen. And it is detailed in the law. We can speak to that.
And
but
there's
then equity
additional
participation where they gotta make
activities.
Financial contribution, equity contribution is risky because they may not be able to find the money.
But you know what it did? The 5% under the same arrangement that will be free for all Liberians is also free for those businesses they selected.
Free for the businesses. They just have to have a partner that can meet the other demands of the requirements of the concession.
But what sense was?
It seems to be we have some hitches there with Costa, but I don't remember you there.
Yes, I'm here.
Yeah.
Okay, Costa, go ahead.
You know, Mame, you take something away from the whole country and give it to a few individuals. What for? Why?
Because they want to remain into the wealth creation process and making money, even while us our government for the rest of their lives. And if you want to do that, be an entrepreneur, you cannot do that at the expense of the people. You cannot do that at the expense of the people.
That has been the history. Our government officials, they tend to have interest in many of these concessions and companies on the back end that we can probably trace most times. But this one is a frontal assault to our sensitivity, to our personal interest, to the interest of the entire country, that few people, 9 companies, will want $1.9 billion over a lifetime period or over whatever period that they can be exploring that oil and be exporting it. So, sometimes you don't even think that kind of stuff is true, or people will be that brave to dispossess other Liberians of the opportunities. But it happens, and we have to be very careful about it. If we don't make that demand, we don't put our feet down now, it will pass, and we'll see our people suffering, and a very few elite, highly elite people enjoying that 1.9 billion over time.
And I listened to part of the conversation you and Costa were having the other time. He said, Liberian people not ready to stand up. He was getting disappointed. I can understand that. But I think this is something we can rally around and call our people attention to what has been taken from them. People like Costa should not give up on this process.
No, and
should not give up the Liberians will not stand up. Liberians are not standing up because Liberians are not aware.
And don't understand
the more we inform our people about what has been taken from them and set aside for a few businesses, the more they will take action. You see the issue with the 50,000 to the legislators. When it was included in the budget, Liberians did not know. So they did not speak. When the lawmakers started to receive the 15,000, that's when Liberians were angered. At this point in time, what we're telling Liberians is do not wait for these businesses to start to receive funds that otherwise should be coming to you, and then you get angry. The same thing the lawmakers said, that it is budgeted, so it is justified. These businesses will tell you it was enacted, so it is justified. This is the time to stand up.
And regardless, though, by law is criminal. and then bylaw is criminal. The people have, you see, we always talk about people power. This is a perfect time for Liberian people to stand up and demonstrate power, whether they're picketing or demonstrating against their lawmakers, whether they're demonstrating against the president, whether they demonstrate to share this information with the international community, whether they're calling in independent organizations, that seek a fair share of natural resources for its people, whether any kind of environmental watch group, whether some of these that have written things on our natural resource sector before, whether some of the other Liberians. There have been many Liberians who are advocated for the Liberian natural resources. What they got in Siaka, so I forgot his name, but he did a lot of different papers on our natural resources. The other people who work with Leyte, we're talking about the Mo Stevens report the other day, but it's Leyte, the Liberia Extractive, Initiative Transparency, whatever it is, that really is supposed to be at the forefront of these things to ensure that we benefit. And that's why I appreciate people like Sam Tukpa who were there. They brought the exposure to us about our natural resources and how they were being pilfered, how they were being just basically mortgaged. And we cannot allow that to continue. We need more voices around this thing. So we've got to make an effort. All of those who have been exposed in this natural resource sector, all other organizations and institutions that can help us make this case to Liberian people, we need to try to connect with them and be able to bring them on board so this can be a massive organization or massive canopy of different Liberian organizations and international organizations that are advocating for the rights and benefits of the Liberian people.
Thank you, Isaac. Baga, let's take a few calls. Ambula Mame is here with us. He's from the Coalition of Liberians advocating for the return or the scrapping of the annulling of this amendment, this wicked amendment that has basically taken away from Liberians our birthright to have 5% free carried equity in each and every single petroleum sharing agreement. That's what oil contracts are called, PSEs or PSA. And Mami, I just did a little research. The Hong Kong-based petroleum company that was giving those two oil blocks 6 and 7 was called Kong Tong Tai. Kong Tong Tai. They received blocks 6 and 7. And then they renegotiated it. McDonald Wentos company, New Millennium Petroleum, was brought in thanks to his association with Alex Tyler. And then, of course, he could not make the capital contribution. I don't expect a lot of Liberians to be able to make capital contributions. So that's why the free carry in interest is the only means by which we can be assured that all of us, not some of us, would be able to get something from our oil resources. Bye. Let's take some calls there.
All right, 0770-102-102-86-010383, 555-102-102. The WhatsApp number is +231-888-624171. That's the WhatsApp number. Call in this morning and you'll be live with us on the Costa Show. So
good. Before we take a call, brother Mame, I just want to say this. This is not a one-day debate.
Sure.
We're going to continue this effort. We got to let as many people as possible know about this. This is just pure wickedness. Now, I don't know whether George Weah was involved in this or was just his co-conspirators or his henchmen in the Senate, but this is wicked. I'm going to assume he didn't know about this. Weah doesn't read these things. He doesn't know these things. But Weah was in the Senate when this oil law was crafted. Weah got elected in 2014. He was installed in 2015, January. So Weah was in the Senate when the oil law was done, right?
But besides that, Costa, besides that he was in the Senate, the CDC advocated for the inclusion of the 5% to the Citizen Fund.
You see that kind of thing?
I was working with Bukhara.
That's a fact.
I was working with Bukhara.
We're actively arguing for those things, for local content, everything. We fought for those things. We made noise. We accused Robert said leave. We wanted to be billionaire and everything.
Disappointment.
So we cannot profess innocence in this. No, he knows.
Don't take the caller on the line this morning. Good morning. Your name, where you calling us from?
Good morning, Brakai, and good morning to Henry, and good morning to our brothers on the show this morning. Well, I just want to register my disappointment, and I hope that Brakai will not cut me off.
Your name.
The problem here is that all of what has been happening in a country under this administration, and you see Mr. Tupa, with all due respect, he will come and sit on a platform and say all of these good things. But let me not lie to you, Henrik, Mr. Tupa has no moral to sit on a platform to talk. I'm saying this to say that Mr. Tupa was one of those who went and fooled the Liberian people to have voted this government. That's why he has said that he's no more part of the CDC, but he has already created a damage. He has created a damage. We are suffering from it. He left the country when he's sitting in different men's country who the people have already educated their citizens. They have told them to vote for a good leader, and they are benefiting from their good leader. He's sitting in their country benefiting, and he left the Liberian people in a mess they created for the Liberian people. He has no moral to come and sit on the program and say crap.
All right, thank you so much. Thank you.
So let me address that, because sometimes when people come with ignorance, you are with intelligence. All right. So if you get married to somebody today and they go and cheat on you, or they go and do something different as opposed to the contract that you have together, will you be held responsible? Do you expect me to take that responsibility of how screwed up this government has become? How it has taken away from the Liberian people, how it has not governed well? No, I take responsibility for the fact that I helped this government get to power. But that cannot take away my voice, my right as a citizen. So for somebody to say I have no moral authority, they don't even understand what the definition of moral is. I did not participate in any exploitation of our people. I have been very consistent in my positions. They have not changed. I fought within the CDC for nearly 2 years to see how we could change. We never changed. We chose to take the corrupt road, and I separated myself from the CDC. For that, I have no apology. So for somebody to think that I myself from the fabric of this community, that's nonsense.
Isaac, let me add something there. My brother, Bella Boy, who called. Yes, Isaac supported George Weah and the CDC. He believed Weah was not necessarily going to be the most brilliant president, but he felt that Weah loved the country, and that his love of country, his supposed love of country, which now is the exact opposite, would somehow compel him to hire brilliant people and make the right decision about the country. So that's where Isaac made a mistake. It was a political miscalculation, which we all make in life. But what is commendable is that very early on, when Isaac realized that the CDC was messing up, Isaac was publicly criticizing them on Facebook. Unlike other people, Isaac went public to distance himself. Even before he finally eventually resigned from the CDC, he was critical. Every time they made a blunder, Isaac spoke out. Now that is something most people I know do not do. They will stick there till the end. Isaac did not do that. He was critical. And when he realized it was not salvageable, that it was over, he called it quits and he withdrew from there. That's what he did. So in that, you must acknowledge that. You think Isaac was still hanging around with CDC who were having on yet? Isaac has been clear. He's been very clear. He's disassociating himself from every bad action of the CDC regime. Every bad action.
Sure.
So let's take a few more calls and come back to Brother Mame. But Brother Mame, as I was saying, we need you and your coalition to regularly come on here to make the noise about this issue. We can't let it die.
The coalition is ready. We got a strong thing on the ground. We have the Student Unification Party as part of the coalition. We have the National Teachers Association, not the National Teachers Association, but specifically Teachers Association for Natural Resources, led by Chokon Muel. We have the Western Region Student Association. We have the Southeastern Region Student Association, also part of the coalition, co-led by Mafi Nyamplu. Even the National Police Bureau of Liberia with John Palu are all part of the coalition, and we're receiving, new members. But like I said, and you read this here, Costa, we need to expand beyond this coalition. How can COP, with its, structure on the ground, how can COP get engaged? We have the facts.
Oh yeah, I mean, without a doubt, COP. Yes. Even before going back to my people, I can tell you as chairman, we will support this. Good. We will support this 100%.
Thank you so much. We appreciate that support.
And when this COVID thing goes down, when we bring it under control in Liberia, we need to organize a protest action to go to the legislature and present a petition for them to amend this thing, to repeal this amendment.
Thank you.
We need to do that.
That's exactly what we need to do. We stay in support. We have the information. Facts. We have them. We can set up a working group and engage the process systematically to ensure that the law is reversed for our people.
Beautiful. Bwagai, no more calls there, right? Gentlemen, thank you so much. Mame, let's plan another interview next week. Every now and then we got to keep talking about this. We're not telling the story, the same narrative. Keep hammering it until we can get these buggers to do something about this.
We always willing to come. There are hard questions.
Mame, it's good you laid the premise when you started speaking. The way they structure those other deals, the Oranto deal, the Block 13 deal, how when NOCAL mandated, it was Chris Neal was president. They did what they call a mandatory divestiture, because Broadway didn't have the money to further develop the oil block, to do further exploration. They had to mandate a divestiture, and they got that company called Canadian Overseas Petroleum Limited to come in with them as partner, and jointly, then they changed the company's name from Broadway to Pepper Coast.
Yeah,
and then
Broadway Pepper Coast.
Yeah, they flipped the company over to Exxon. And Liberia received $50 million in signature bonus. My man, these guys have just done a lot of terrible things to us, my brother.
Liberia received $50 million. The country received $50 million in signature bonus, but the Liberians who are having participating interest received $68.5 million.
Jesus Christ of Nazareth.
Those were the things that informed the amendment to the law and say any interest, 5% must go to the citizen fund. But Costa, another thing you need to know, the petroleum law has 10% for the state.
Yeah,
when they wanted to amend
free carry interest, 10%.
Free carry interest as well. When they wanted to amend the law to take the 5% and give to their friends, they did not go to the state 10%. They came to the citizens 5%.
So yeah, they touch the state because they need to
touch the state
that money.
But the state money is their eating money too.
Thank you. That they own no money. I said it goes to them. How many boys are brave? Damn it. And we are wanting to do 9 oil blocks in 1 bid round.
Or Phil, I can get you the reason. The next show we will detail how the bid process failed.
And then they started going, my man, they started reducing the signature bonus fee. They started saying now they can do payment plan just out of desperation to entice companies to come and participate in the bid round.
The last concession we signed with Exxon, the signature bonus was $50 million, minimum $50 million.
Then you work down to a few $1 million.
8. They reduced it now. They said the minimum should be 8. From 50 to 8.
Cash in hand. That's it.
So
cash in hand.
Look, when I read that thing, they said that they are accepting $8 million. Then they turn around, they said later on, they said, if I said the $8 million for signature bonus, you gotta pay all that. You can pay in installment. You not see people pay signature bonus in installment?
No.
It's about immediate cash in hand because I have piggy bank.
And that's serious oil.
Okay, moment. So we are the
and a serious company with capacity to drill oil would not have $8 million to pay for signature bonus.
Now you gotta tell them say they must pay in installment.
The fact that you start to pay signature bonus in installment, it means you're not going to drill. You're only taking the black to flip it. Why should we do that?
Jesus Christ of
But
Nazareth.
y'all gotta look what's coming next. I don't know whether
Mama,
you saw
why
the
they don't
agreement
make
that we
good
signed
like
with
this?
Morocco.
That's all.
Follow the agreement we signed with Morocco. There may be something coming next very soon. You know,
I will check it up. I saw it after you sent it to me. I saw it. We'll check it up. They signed agreement with Morocco recently. But I know the Minister of Foreign.
Sam Jackson just sent me a message. See there, Papa, he want me to get very in. He's saying Ellen Jones Telipo, you know, we're not talking about Ellen now. We're talking about your friend Joe that you support now. He's the one who made the amendment. He said he wants to call to say that Ellen made. You know, I'm saying that's a big. I'm not even putting on because I want to tell you something. If you have the ball, Sam Jackson, to condemn George Weah for signing this amendment into law that essentially takes away 5% equity from all Liberians, you got no moral ground here to condemn Ellen. Ellen did not sign the amendment. Ellen bad, yes, I agree. But she the one put the 5% equity in it for Liberians. Your friend Weah, who's going to be good, is the one that took it away. So I beg you, man, Sam Jackson, leave me alone. He calling me, he talk about he want to talk.
Let Sam Jackson shut up. But he was doing a road show for Robert Salif. We were getting money from them. But
Sam Jackson was a consultant to local.
Sam Jackson was a consultant for local.
Sam Jackson was a consultant, reading one page, report 15,000-20,000.
Yeah. Sam Jackson was consultant for local. He made a lot of money on local.
I got some of the reports Sam Jackson wrote. When you see them, 1 page, 2 pages report.
But you never had a problem then. Sam, I beg you, man. You never had a problem then when you're consulting for local and making a lot of money. But you know the point is that Sam Jackson will even send me a message saying he wants to call to blast Ellen when Ellen they pay him money. Then now his friend Joey took away our 5%. He ain't got problem with you. He ain't got problem with it. You want to talk about Ellen. Sam, when you ready to talk about Joey, then you will call, yeah? Yeah. When you ready to talk about Joey, I beg you, man. Don't
did all that she did. She passed a petroleum law that set 5% for the citizens. George,
you know what, guys? Let me ask you: should we put it on, Isaac, my man? Where I say?
Put it on.
Okay.
Let the people hear his stupidity.
Aha. Let's hear Sam. Sam, talk to us. What do you make of Joe? We are taking away the 5%.
Congratulations on hitting the academic news list at your school. Okay? Let me be very frank with you. I think you guys are unfair to me this morning to say that because I was a consultant at NorCal, I was complicit in the stealing of our resources. I think it's very much unfair. And I think you guys
That's not what we said. That's not what we said.
We did not say you were complicit. We said you knew about it.
No, but if he wasn't complicit, let him demonstrate how he wasn't complicit. Let him demonstrate how he wasn't complicit. If you say he wasn't complicit, let him demonstrate.
In the year 2000, Dr. Cromer and I wrote the Minerals and Mining Law of Liberia, where we gave 20% equity, free carry interest to the state. We did that. And I pushed that agenda. When Ellen came to power, many of you guys were sleeping, and I continue to say that Ellen was destroying that 20% equity. She made it by law, the 5%. You all sat there and did nothing. Okay? In my closeness to Ellen, you saw me fight her on the most Stevens report. 66 out of 68 concession agreements were fraud or fraudulent. You saw me fight her with Elenito. You saw me fight her on the Western.
That's true, Sam. Let's talk about your friend George Weah, who amended the 5%.
Thank you.
One of the reasons why I'm supporting George Weah is because of the ignorance of the opposition that don't.
Sam, we don't want to go there. That George Weah gets sent. I beg you, man.
Let Sam address himself to the 5%.
Why? Listen, Sam Jackson, you are on record. Sam Jackson, hold on. You are on record for your advocacy, which is commendable, by the way, against Ellen for the bad concessions, specifically the Elenito. You wage a war. I know that. But what about George Weah removing the 5% provision in the law for Liberians? What do you make of that?
Baba,
Yeah, but what do you say to him? What do you say to him? Take away equity from all of us and give it to a few people. What do you say to him about that?
But listen to me, okay? In my position now as somebody who is supporting the 2023 George Weah Airports, those are some of the things I will bring to his attention that is undermining our social cohesion and economic empowerment of Liberians. I will say that to him, of course. But the issue I have is that the opposition is
My man, leave the opposition, man. I beg you, man. You're not here to campaign. We're talking about what opposition got to do with the amendment. The opposition did the amendment.
To speak because I'm one of Liberia's experts when it comes to mineral development in terms of social equity and economic empowerment in the mineral sector. I've studied that more than anybody on the planet. Okay, we wrote the Minerals and Mining Law of 2000, Dr. Kuma and myself, and we gave you all 20% free carry interest.
I know that, Sam. That's not what we're talking about now.
Of 2002, we said that any contract $3 million and under should go to Liberians. The opposition does not demand that. They don't even have an idea that these laws existed and that these laws have been amended. They did nothing to fight. When I fought it as a lone ranger, and it cost me a lot of financial opportunity.
Sam is just looking for credit. Sam is looking for credit. Sam is looking for credit. He's wasting the time on the discussion.
Sometimes I do constructively engage the system like I'm doing now.
My man, we're not here for revisionist history. We are not here for
I'm not angry, Sam. Your support for George Weah does not hurt the opposition in any way. It's your one vote, and that's it.
It's equally clueless about mineral development and social cohesion and economic empowerment.
Well, take your brilliant ideas to your cousin George Weah. Sam, you heard what I said?
I told you already, I disagree with how it is being done now. What has changed is my confrontational approach and my behavior to their actions.
Sam Jackson, let me say something to you. I know you know a lot of George Weah better than you. I know Nathaniel McGill better than you. I tell you this, these people, they will never ever listen to anything you have to say. Let me say this to you. The international community organized and supported an economic dialogue, which you, Sam Jackson, were involved with. You were there. You helped to organize it. You helped to write a report. Your recommendations were made to George Weah. The UNDP spent over $100,000 on that dialogue. Sam Jackson, what has Weah done with the recommendations from that dialogue?
Absolutely nothing. Absolutely nothing.
Okay, all right. Hold on. The Americans. Why do you keep going to the opposition? Isaac, you please Isaac, man.
Sam, speak to the 5%. Address the 5%.
Against the interests of the state in mineral development in terms of fiscally, that's not their position. Their position is taking the war crimes court, they're taking issues like human rights.
But those are important issues to us too.
Let me finish. These discussions should be held in-house, but they are running to the U.S. Congress because they don't have the political capital in the Republic of Liberia.
Who told you that?
My man,
Sam Jackson, listen to me. You, as experienced and brilliant as you are, you know these guys run a troika. In fact, the first time I heard anybody use that word was from you. McGill, Tuer, and Weah. That is a troika. A bunch of thieves. And you gotta conscientiously in your very brilliant mind, decided to support these idiots and these rogues, Sam, that says a whole freaking lot about you. Sam, hold on. If the opposition is as bad as you say they are, hold on, Sam. I have not finished. I will let you speak uninterrupted. It's my turn. You will hear me out. Sam Jackson, if the opposition is as lackluster and lackadaisical and spineless and good for nothing as you say they are, and we are, it's even worse because he's the one destroying the country, which you know better than most people because you are a brilliant political economist. For you to get up and support these idiots says a whole lot more about you than it does about the opposition. You could have chosen to remain politically neutral, but you chose to willfully, conscientiously, in your so brilliant mind, support these idiots. Sam Jackson, it begs the question, why the hell on God's earth would Sam do such a thing?
Answer that question. To pay his 5,000. He wanted to pay his 5,000.
Easy to support a bunch of thieves who are murdering people to cover their tracks. I guess Isaac and Mame got questions for you. I'm just done with you. You can make your point. Isaac and Mame will ask you.
Reformation and continuity instead of going for the disjointed
continuity of this nonsense. Okay, Mame, ask him to ask your question. Sam Jackson said he wants the country to continue like this. Are you kidding me?
I don't really have a question for Sam.
No, you cannot say reformation. You are amending your response. Reform. Do you think George Weah is
to consolidate the political economy or to improve the body politics?
Sam Jackson, hold on here, man. You listen. Do you think you're in the Bush House studio? You can't mesmerize anybody here with those with that convoluted gibberish. You can't do that. Not to me. I know you all too well. Mame, ask the man a question.
Sam,
hold on. Mame wants to ask you a question.
Sam, I don't really have a specific question for Sam. What I want Sam to do now that he has said that he's against the decision to take the 5% equity from all Liberians and give to few businesses, we just invite him to join us to call on the president to undo the amendment. That's the best thing he can do.
Very good. Isaac, you got something to say to Sam?
I don't have to join you from your side. I can join you from where I am as a reformist within the movement to re-elect John Gavin 2023.
They man, ain't got seen. Isaac, you want to make a point? Yeah, and the criminal roguish president that you support. Sam Jackson, you support a man. Hold on, Sam. Hold on, Sam. I wanted to leave this alone, but you wouldn't let me. Sam, you support this man who gets up and goes to France with a 37-man delegation on a freaking private jet in the middle of a level 4 COVID crisis. And the French people have refused for him to speak. And you support such a man, this reckless, irresponsible, good-for-nothing man? You want him to continue to be president?
You are cherry-picking positions in which I should take. Okay? While I do not agree with the 37-man delegation, I don't think that's an egregious transgression for me to withdraw my support from the George Weah 2023 campaign.
But say you wasn't your time, we'll flunk George Weah the market dog. But my man, don't get me Sam, don't get me no damn euphemism here. What's happening is not transgression, it's willful, calculated blunders that hurt the people. It is fact. You support a government, Sam Jackson, you support a government that borrowed $50 million from the IMF and stole it, supposedly for a stimulus package. Sam Johnson, thank you very much. Go back to sleep. Bye-bye. Well, Brother Mohammed, there you have it. Sam Johnson thinks George Weah will win again, and Weah is the best thing that ever happened to Liberia overnight. Thank you.
Yeah, but Sam, I just got information I'm trying to verify that Sam is working for one of the companies elected. So we verify that information that he's working for one of the companies. I don't know whether he's working for them, knowing that they're participating in the process to take 5% from all Liberians and give to them. But the message Sam is trying to send across is the message that the propaganda wing of the government and people they've paid against this campaign are also sending. Each time you engage them on the 5%, they say, oh, Ellen messed up the sector. Oh, Nuka went corrupt. Oh, Nuka went bankrupt. So, okay, Nuka went bankrupt. George Weah is president. Launch an investigation and prosecute those responsible. But that does not stop you, or that does not give you the reason to go into a petroleum law and see a 5% that Ellen set aside to benefit every Liberian and take it and share with your friends. That is the core of the discussion. So, Costa, thank you for the time.
Yeah, my brother. Thank you so much.
Appreciate a whole lot. Like you said, we are ready to remain engaged. Let's push this thing. Let's talk to who we can talk to, whatsoever, wherever they are. It's good to hear that you've already engaged Congressman Chris Smith and the rest of the other folks up the hill. Let's remain engaged on the ground as well to ensure we can get this done. We know when we work together, things can happen.
Definitely. Thank you, my brother. Have a good day. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Okay.